So these are part of the same project. I've been messing around with mandrels, although again I'm using actually a Lyman M die for cost and simplicity's sake. I still have to make note of it though because I know it's the internet. Someone's going to throw a fuss. Anyway, over here we got the same thing that we've been doing with a small change, potentially small change. So these are body sized with a Redding body size die, and then neck sized using my new Redding bushing die. I'm still using the garbage PPU bullet, so honestly anything under 3 inches I'm going to be happy with, but it's not about the size of the groups, it's about the size of the groups in relation to one another. Testing mandrel versus what we have here was resized with the Forester full-length seating die. Still a 2000s shoulder bump, and that's why we have these two down there. I messed it up. When I was setting the shoulder bump, I was like, that should be far enough out, and turns out it wasn't. This one I think is 5 thousandths behind the rest, and this one is I think only a thousandths. But still, I set it off to the side because there's going to be a difference. I'm still going to fire them, but I'm going to do the same modus operandi, which is I'm going to allow 2 flyers because the bullets are that much garbage. Go ahead and watch the other 2 videos if you want to know what I mean. Anyway, and I'll also put a link. Over here, for my semi-custom 7x57 Mauser. These are 168 grain Nosler Custom Competition and my new Norma brass. So there's more to explain on that, but it is fire forming, but it's also not, because the chamber's so tight that when I did a body size on these, I was still bumping back the shoulder. So not by much though, maybe 1, maybe 2 thousandths. We're going to be finally using Norma URP. Norma's load data is pretty hot. So I did not trust it in my older rifle, the one that I retired, that maybe someday in the future I'll be rebarreling. But I only trust it really with this new one, and finally we're going to get around to it. So we're going to see how well they do. So the top 24, because even though I ordered a box of 50, they only gave me 49, those bastards. Top 24, sized with the mandrel. The bottom 25, they're just body sized, and then I used my Redding neck sizing die with a Carbide button to do the necks. So we'll see how well they do, and it should be an interesting project. Can you guys see that? I got some incipient case head separation, so I cannot reload these 2 again. And coincidentally, these are both the last shots, 1 from each group. That said, let's go walk out and take a look at how our targets are doing. I'm sorry for the wind, guys. We're getting it is approaching 4 o'clock when the snowstorms are supposed to hit. Okay, let's see if we can find them. So we're back out, and it looks like those 2 didn't do too bad. Let's do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that one actually looks a little bit bigger, so I guess we have overlap. So 10. So good. So we see here that the shoulder bump didn't really affect things too much. It's in the same general vicinity, rather, I should say. And up here, I mean, these didn't have a problem with shoulder bump, so I'm not too surprised. Actually, it may have slightly opened up, but either way, it's still like a 4-inch group. But definitely where the main grouping wants to be is there, and I'm not surprised that we have these outliers. So let's take a look at it when we take away 2 flyers. So if we take away the farthest 2, so this one and that one, really it doesn't affect things a whole lot. And there's no other way that we can really conceive of that would improve this group. So that is it. Even when we take them away, that's still like, it's definitely over 4 inches, possibly 5. This one, yeah, if we take away those 2, it definitely improves. And there's really nothing else we can do otherwise. So even with a Forster die, the Mandrel wins out. And the Forster die is basically one of the best commercial dies on the market. By commercial, I mean, non-custom. Okay, we can nitpick. We can think of some better brands, I guess, or brands that are made to tighter tolerances or something like that. Some German company, I don't know. That point aside, still, against a neck sizing die by Redding, a neck sizing die by RCBS, both with the same shoulder bump, Mandrel did better. And against full leg sizing with a 2000 shoulder bump with Forster, the Mandrel still did better. So I mean, I'm trying to think of what else I can do to compare it to, but that's pretty conclusive, at least with this rifle, with this brass, and these bullets. I guess I'll go ahead and add that on there. But at this point, we've tested so much that it really doesn't matter. The Mandrel's just winning out. I have to finish shooting up the loads with my semi-custom though, so let's do that. Okay, it's me from the future and the editing room. So I'm still going to show this footage, however, I do have to add some explanation to it because we came across some issues. Ultimately, what I found out afterwards when I got back to the reloading bench was that the expander ball and the Mandrel were not giving the same neck diameter. They were not giving the same neck tension. And so what's going to be shown is the result of that. I'm going to include some photos now that show that the expander Mandrel expanded the neck diameter to 282, whereas the carbide sizing button, the brass sprung back to 281. And so that is the result you're seeing. That explains the point to impact shift, but I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let's go on to the footage. We just finished up firing my shots for my 7x57 semi-custom, and I'm confounded, but let's explain why as we go through the groups. So this is the minimum charge, which is 45 grains of Norma URP. We're moving up in 0.5 grain increments, so this is 45.5, 46, 46.5, and then lastly 47. 47 is definitely the best group. This is roughly about an inch. You'll notice that basically as we go up in charge, our point of impact shifts up and also a little bit to the right. And this is with the standard expander ball. More specifically though, it's actually Redding's carbide sizing button. And yeah, I am shivering. It's cold out. It's about 20 degrees, but I've been out here for a good couple hours. I have warmed up, but like I said, I just finished up those groups. So now onto the expander Mandrel. I'm gonna do just a brief scroll by. Yeah, they're garbage. The best one was the second highest. I got this, that's 4-shot groups. Fifth one went over there. I think I pulled it. I mean, I'm willing to come up with just about any excuse because the best group over here doesn't even compare to the worst group up above. This confounds me because with the 303 British, it's the complete opposite story. No matter what, the Mandrel did better. Now the Mandrel's doing so much worse. But there's something with the shift of point to impact. That's the explanation. So I need to go back. I need to re-examine what exactly went different with the brass here. And yeah, I am shivering. Because this is first fired brass. I body sized everything. The difference is this one, when I neck sized it, I used the carbide expanding button. Then for this one, I took that button out. And when I expanded it, I used the Lyman M die, which is basically a Mandrel. That is the difference. It should have the same neck diameter, or in other words, same neck tension. It should be 282 instead of 284, which is the bullet diameter. So it should be the same. But there's still something different about it that it's not working out. Maybe that's just how it is. But either way, I'm going to have to reload. You get what I'm saying. My brain is frozen. It's not working. I'm going to have to retest because I went and warmed up again before I fired these shots. I tried to keep them as close together as I could in terms of testing conditions. I'm trying to pull every excuse out of the book, but it's not working. So, yeah.